जाने ना माने तू या माने ना.
In order to have lasting peace in South Asia, Pakistan and India must have a comprehensive dialogue. Can you believe that other than this ceasefire conversation, since the last attack in 2019 and until the latest attack in 2025, India and Pakistan have had no conversation about terrorism, no conversation about Kashmir, and no meaningful conversation. How can two nuclear-armed countries have no dispute resolution mechanism? India refuses to acknowledge the role of the United Nations. India refuses to acknowledge the role of the United Nations Charter. India refuses to acknowledge the United Nations Security Council resolutions. India refuses to abide by international law. India refused Pakistan's proposal for an impartial investigation into the terrorist attack that happened in Pahalgam. And today, India still refuses to have a comprehensive, meaningful dialogue with Pakistan. This is untenable. It is not only untenable for Pakistan and India. It is untenable for peace and stability in the region and peace and stability in the globe. Therefore, I urge you, as individual countries, as the OIC, all of whom have relations and positive relations, at least better than us, with our neighbor India, to prevail on that this cannot continue. We must talk peace. We must discuss the unresolved issues of the subcontinent. Of course, that'll include the issue of terrorism, of which we are all a victim. If Pakistan and India were to end finger-pointing and were to commence cooperation to counter terrorism, you can write it down today as a guarantee that if India and Pakistan work together to combat terrorism, you will see a drastic decrease in terrorism in the subcontinent. If India and Pakistan refuse to talk with one another about terrorism, then write it down today. We will see a drastic increase of incidences of terrorism in the subcontinent. As far as what are our next steps, we must build on this ceasefire, have a comprehensive dialogue, include the issue of terrorism, work towards establishing some sort of some sort of mechanism that is mutually endorsed by both India and Pakistan. Pakistan has a laundry list of complaints against India and terrorist attacks that take place in Pakistan, terrorist attacks that take place in Balochistan, terrorist attacks that take place in Pakhtunkhwa. We have evidence that we have presented before the United Nations of Indian involvement in such incidents and Indian proxies in such incidences. We would like to establish such a mechanism so that if I have any complaint, if Pakistan has any complaint, then we should be able to bring our complaint with the proofs to this mechanism, and India and Pakistan should be able to work together to get to the bottom of it. Similarly, I would like that if India has any complaint, any genuine proof, any genuine evidence, then share it with us, share it with this mechanism. Let's work together to combat this menace. As far as the issue of the Indus Water Treaty is concerned, I appreciate the OIC and almost each and every single member that spoke for condemning this issue, for condemning the weaponization of water. We cannot allow this to be the new normal. And while Pakistan is actively engaged in pursuing dialogue and diplomacy with India, if we are to work on new treaties, if we are to have a new dialogue, then surely we have to abide by our old treaties. And the first step to take Pakistan and India back to their position pre this conflict will be for India to start abiding by the Indus Waters Treaty, stop violating the Indus Waters Treaty, and continue to engage through the mechanisms available to address any of their concerns. Pakistan and India were exchanging letters, let us say, as far as the Indus Waters Treaty was concerned before this conflict. At no time did Pakistan say that we're not willing to talk about the Indus Waters Treaty. At no time did we reject this a proposal to talk about the Indus Waters Treaty. It is India that has violated the Indus Waters Treaty, that has violated international law, violated the United Nations Charter, and set a dangerous, dangerous precedent that they must take back. And finally, the issue of Kashmir. I wouldn't dare or dream to compare it to the plight of the people of Palestine. But they too have a right to self-determination. They have a right to justice. It is not for me in Islamabad to decide, nor is it for New Delhi to decide the fate of the people of Kashmir. It is for the people of Kashmir to decide their destiny. And India and Pakistan must work as facilitators for that. If you are to tackle the issue of terrorism, you must address the root causes. If India continues with its policy of suppression, if it continues its policy of collective punishment, if it continues to victimize the people of Kashmir.
Thank you for watching World One Now. Subscribe, like, comment and share.